Hello and welcome back to Songs of Six. It has been a while since I've made content. I'll drop a few nuggets here and there on why that is, but I don't want to keep you too long. It has been almost 3 months, I think, since I put out my last few videos, so we are heading back into a new Songs of Six playthrough. This time I'm doing things again differently than all the other times. What we are going to do is we are playing a random game, and back in my old fashion I will not put it on easy plus, I'll put it on the hardest difficulty, which is hard, and 4 pluses here, 3 pluses here, and I'll also let's get Crawl's Revenge. That's like, once you reach 6,000 population. I don't know if we will do that this playthrough. There spawns a huge army hellbent on destroying you. I don't know what the eclipse is, but let's enable it. Extra raids we don't need. We will have quite enough raids. And the dig too deep event is just annoying. Makes a few people go insane. Okay. What is this all about? I want to make a playthrough on the hardest difficulty, and I want to conquer the world. So every single settlement on the world map will be ours. And I think there's only one race in the game which this is feasible with, especially on the hardest difficulty, and it's the Bug Boys. We are back to the first thing we played on this channel, which was Garfimi. They are just they're the only ones we can keep happy all the time on the hardest difficulty. They don't need too much food. They have weak morale. I'll tell you how we gonna remedy that in battles. Very limited skills across the board. It's something we can live with. And terrible knowledge work is also something we can live with, because they are not the ones doing the knowledge work. We get to pick 5 titles. I've thought about this quite a bit. I think the Artisan is pretty broken. 20% boost to all production chains, which we're going to need. Then I will take Break of Chain. Happiness is nice, but that's too little happiness. The Entertainer is even less happiness. Burst of the Name is also really great. Instead of spawning with 5 people, 10 people, I think we spawn with 55 people, and we get 1000 knowledge in the beginning. So great, the knowledge is the real thing we are after here. That's 2 titles. Then I definitely, since we are going to conquer the whole world map, I want probably the most broken title in this context, which is the Builder. Every region we conquer, even if it's just a lowly scrubby level 1 region, gets free workforce. So this is probably the one thing that will enable this whole thing. This one is 15% happiness, that's much better. So I think we are going to take the 15% happiness. Yeah, let's take Lord of the Seven Kingdoms. Okay. I'll probably cut out some things. Now, the world map is probably the most important thing for this whole playthrough. To make it a bit easier to choose a settlement, I'll go a bit to a southern latitude, so it's a bit warmer. And we're going to generate a map. My map has to satisfy one important criteria. There can't be one gigantic mountain range splitting the map in 2 parts, because I want to conquer every single region. That means every single region must be accessible. I think the generation does that automatically, but I want to make sure, and so I'm not going to risk it. I'll reroll quite a few times in here, and I'll probably just cut to the point where I'm satisfied with a world map. Okay, I think I have found a pretty nice map. There is a giant mountain range in the middle of the map, so my armies will have to do a lot of walking around. But I haven't found a single pocket that should be So there shouldn't be a pocket that is inaccessible. There's probably going to be a connection over here, but we can regenerate the political map with the placed settlements and the connections as well. I just need a world map that is not having like this mountain range extend all the way, so it's locked off. Because if I want to conquer the world, if I want to conquer the whole world, I need to be able to reach the whole world. Maybe some good fertility. This has 74 fertility. There is clay over here. That would be a nice spot with tons of water. I also found this spot over here. This is really... I mean, there's probably not a perfect location to be found. The only thing I like about this spot more is there's more resources around it. So once we start conquering here, we can get more resources easily. So I'm going to plop my city down here. Now it's generating the world map. And now I'm looking for two things. A bit of a spoiler for this playthrough. If I want to conquer the world, I need an unbeatable army. And Cantors are unbeatable and Argonosh are unbeatable. We are Garfimi, we are going to go for Argonosh. I see one haven down here, one haven here. Is there another one behind here? I think that's another one. These are free lands. These are also free lands. Okay. I think there's no way to even do any better than this. Now we go in. Okay, I think I like this map very much. Down here, nearby the river. So my people can go for a swim if they feel like it. New levels, and we are off. Okay, we have 55 people. They will be very unhappy for quite a time. So our first priorities are twofold. We want to make the people happy and we want to produce our food. So it has been a while. I said it would take 3 weeks for me to be back from my holiday, but directly after I bought a new computer, then I got a new position at work, so I need to find my way into the new position at work. It's taking up a lot of time, so I just don't have much time to play games or make content for you guys, because it is taxing to talk to no one. I could stream, but I don't think there's anyone who would watch. So we're building out of stone. Garfimi likes stone. So this playthrough will take quite a while, as you can imagine. Conquering the whole world is not a small feat. I don't even know if it's possible. I'll just try. And I will probably release 1 or 2 episodes. 1 episode every 2 weeks. I know that's very infrequent, but my audience is not that big, so I think you guys can understand that I just can't. I mean, most of you guys are probably working a 9-to-5 job as well, so you know that it's just not possible to come home and then immediately start recording anything really. So that's just how it's going to be. I'm sorry. Okay, we have a warehouse. This is our first priority, so we can store some food. We have a well, we have a speaker and a hearth. Those are the first few basic services we need. I will also immediately place down a food stall. Yeah, not elliptic. I'm trying to build round buildings because Garfimi prefer round buildings. Okay, this needs to be one larger. And I'll build most buildings out of stone. Garfimi love to live in the mountain, but we don't have any mountains on this map. So buildings will be made out of stone. We will need wood. So let's designate a few trees. And we will need stone. Okay, which we don't have anything absolutely nearby except for just the random pebbles lying around. As I said, my people will be very unhappy. They have quite a few expectations and happiness is getting multiplied by 0.4. So that's just the difficulty setting. My people also will eat more and things will spoil a lot faster. As you can see, if it's lying on the ground, it spoils 100% per year. If I store it, it spoils 125% per year. So if we store something, it spoils faster because the difficulty setting only affects stored food. That's why those 1000 sciences are so important. What we are going to do is I am immediately taking 2 levels in spoilage, maybe even 3 levels. While I'm at it, I will also unlock entertainment. I will unlock the proper burial. I can also unlock bloodsport, and that's it for now. I will also design a housing block that I'm just going to copy over and over again. I'll pause it for this. And I'll try to get some roundness in there. Okay, that's a bit too little space. But I think my Garfimi are a bit special. They don't care about space, so we can cramp this up as much as we want. And they don't care about noise. So really no need to give them any more space than absolutely necessary. I only have to do this designing once and then I'll just copy the building later. Okay, but this is not important. So we're going to suspend this as first. First thing I want is the warehouse. I've taken 2 levels of spoilage, or 3 levels. And now, as you can see, the spoil rate, if I store something, is down to 71%. So now it's more efficient to store than just let it lie on the ground. Okay, that's happiness. We can also build a fight pit. Let's make it a bit smaller, but still a rather large fight pit. We will also need some religion. Garfimi are followers of a minion. I think it's some kind of warrior god. And most importantly, the spider goddess. And now we wait a bit. Oh no, before I fast forward and forget, one very important thing, we need food. This one we are going to build out of mud. And my primary food source for this playthrough will be meat. Especially the Baltic crawler breeder. So we're just going to plop a giant Baltic crawler breeder down here. With a gate and a few huts. Takes 1800 wood, but we will manage. Okay, now we can skip forward a bit. Okay, our first set of buildings is finished. I also placed down some shrines and a second building block and a janitor to maintain our buildings. Our Baltic Roller breeder is finished, employing 16 people. And at the moment we are producing just a little shy of what we need. 7 people already decided to leave us because we didn't manage to make them happy in time. But that's no problem. We will get people back. The most important thing is not to panic once people decide to leave. Because if they decide to leave, everyone else has less expectations. I'm just placing a graveyard. Also makes the people a bit more happy. Let's just plop it over here and get a bunch of graves going. We will have lots of death in our settlement. Even before we start conquering the world, which will lead to more death. That's our graveyard. Now, what we are going to need next is furniture. You know the drill. Okay, we have a carpenter under construction. Then we'll get furniture. And the most important building for the happiness of our people is a lavatory. Even though we are disgusting little bug boys, we do not like to poop on the floor. It's just how the world runs in Songs of Six. So this will be our basic lavatory. Progress is being made. Our lavatory is finished. My people are 100% happy, and we are at the point where the first immigrants are waiting to be let in. As you can see, we are improving steadily. They like my environment, the roundness we are fulfilling. Other than that, they love that we give them meat. And that's it. Services are improving. As you can see, lavatories are a huge part of them being happy. And access is also improving since we gave them the stone they need for their homes. Stone is going to be the first thing we need on a world map. In the meantime, we are constructing a clay pit and a second Baltic roller breeder. My carpenter is at work, producing furniture, very slowly. And the second Baltic roller breeder is being finished. We will need more workers, so we let in those 11 people waiting. Which also means we need more services to keep them happy. Let's build a big stage. 240 services 960 people. This service is 640. I think this is probably better. Okay, the first slaver has arrived, and we definitely need slaves. Especially human slaves, since they will be the ones doing all the science for us. So I'll just buy 3 human slaves. And we'll give them access to a few things they will probably want and need, just to keep them a bit more happy. And I think that's it. For now they can do whatever, later on they will be our scientists. I think that's the basic same strategy I did in my first playthrough. Slaves are just very nice. I think they have balanced it good. Jake has balanced it pretty nicely. The submission is not as easy to achieve as it was before. So it's no longer possible for me to have 500 Garfimi and 1,500 slaves, for example. Our society is quite literally progressing. We are building our first laboratory, which will lead to science or a technology point. I've built a little cotton farm, making use of this climate, which gives us a 50% boost to cotton production. My Garfimi are very unskilled when it comes to farm labor, but it's better than nothing. We have crossed the 75 population mark, so from now on we can get raided. Thankfully we are dirt poor and no one seems to have any interest in us. So we don't have to look out for raiders for now. Stone will start to be a problem in the long run, but I think on the world map we have, yeah, our neighbor here has stone deposits right next to us, and this one too, so once we start conquering, we won't have any stone problems anymore. There was a message I didn't see. Extreme temperatures. Okay, yeah, I don't care. My Garfimi love the heat. We are building a hunter. Not because I want meat. More than meat, I need leather. And the leather I will use to produce our first leather armor. Because soon we will get criminals in our city. And we need guard posts to get keep the law up. And the guard posts do want us to have some leather armor. I think we are stocking up on some clay, so I will use this opportunity to build some, where is it? Fungus road, which is the road my Garfimi I mean, it's not the preferred road, but it's one of the best. There's the Fungus Highway, which is even better. Which also takes 1 clay only. Okay, but we need the technology for it, and the technology is fancy roads. Which takes 1200 science, that is too much for us. Okay, Fungus Road it is. I'll just use the heat map to place down the clay wherever it is needed the most. The settlement is ever growing. I'm building a 3rd Baltic roller breeder because our food is running low. Other than that, a new building block, and I think that's just about it. Our tailor is not producing, we don't have enough leather, but later on we want to switch over to leather arm as well. I can see we have 150 furniture stored up. An upgrade takes 100, so we are going to upgrade our storage space. 400 science in the bank. There's a few things I want to take a look at. Especially a weaver, yes, 120 science, we can afford that, no problem. And then I want to save up, because once we have 100 Garfimi, which is very soon, we can upgrade our Baltic crawler breeders with the Baltic master trait. And that's what really sets this apart from other husbandry buildings. Let's just let in 9 people. Then we're up to 100, and now we can take 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. And we have just boosted our Baltic roller breeders by 40%. Takes 1 day to tick over. And now instead of 150% skill, we have 210% skill. So, since our species multiplier is a multiplier and not just an additive bonus, this was even increased further. So now we should be really fine on food. Yes, we are fine even without the 3rd Baltic roller breeder. I'm still building it. We will need more food in the future. We have 10 soldiers who are training. I set up 1 little division with 10 Garfimi. It's division 0. We'll find the name after they have either proven themselves in battle or not. And there's 10 soldiers in there. They have no equipment whatsoever, but they are training all day, every day. So our line of defense is 10 naked bug boys who are trained to be the most efficient killing machines there ever were. Okay, the Baltic roller breeder is being finished. I think what I want to do next is build a weaver, make use of some of the cotton we have to produce cloth, fabric, sorry, and then maybe clothing or leather armor. I've decided to do something risky. I've built my first Garfimi hatchery, so now we are breeding our own children. No longer do we only rely on the people joining us from the outside, we also grow our own population. The problem is the Garfimi, they tend to do the baby booming. Adulthood they reach after 16 days. So, as you can imagine, 16 days, not a lot. Our population will grow rapidly with this. At the moment we have 21 children. So in just a few days or weeks even, in less than 3 weeks, we will get 20 more citizens, which means 20 more mouths to feed, but also 20 more workers. So let's see if we can make it work. By copying over some buildings, I have planted down the blueprint for our second district. I don't want to construct it yet, we don't have enough workers to man it or construct it, and it's not needed at the moment. But the reason I'm going over there is to start some fishing. So we can also plan out the fishery at the moment. Okay, that seems fine. We have 5 fishing spots in there. Maybe we can get 6th? Yes, perfect. 6 fishing spots, 15 workers. We have access to a deep sea, so we're getting some bony. Let's plop down some storage and some auxiliaries. Takes 20 wood. I think we can afford it. And then immediately, because we do not have the workers yet, I will suspend the job. I also try to avoid this forage area, because this is giving us quite a lot of mushrooms once per year. It's a nice supplementary food source. We're losing workers. I think it's due to aging. Yes, my Garthemia are starting to die. They have a lifespan of 50 years, but as you can see, they die with the young age of 28. I think that's due to the rather poor medical standards we have in our little city. And I think the first of our children are growing up. In the meantime, I also started a trade agreement with our neighbor Instrak here. So what we can do now is, on the logistics, get a few export depots. We are almost all the time full on cotton, so we can export some cotton. It doesn't fetch a good price, like 6 denarii per piece. But I mean, before it's rotting on the ground here, so if we can just sell it. The other thing we can probably sell over time is clay. And one thing we will sell sooner or later is livestock. Because our Baltic roller breeders are not only producing meat, they are also producing tons of livestock. So the first batch of children got ready. Like, okay, that's maybe a bit of an insane way to say it. Children got ready for war. No, they grown up, and now we have our second batch of children. 150 population. As you can see, this is the impact our breeder has. So this line will slowly creep to the right, and I think we are going to... With this one breeder, I think we'll reach easily 500, 600 population. Now we just have to keep up with the food demand. For the moment, we are doing fine. So I think we are making great progress. If you've watched so far, I'll try to condense it down a bit, and maybe we can start fighting next episode. So thank you for watching, and see you the next time. Goodbye.